Hi everyone and welcome to today's recovery combo class. What you need for class today is a yoga strap. If you do not have a yoga strap and you're at home doing this, you can always use a belt or a towel or a long t-shirt, just something that has enough length that can give you a little bit of resistance. We are going to be going down to the floor today for a few stretches, so if you need a mat, make sure you have that as well. And then finally, there is one or two poses that we'll be doing where you might want to have a chair by you or the arm of a couch or something that's about hip level that you can balance on well. Okay? So we're going to start our routine standing today with the recovery combo class. I am not necessarily going to do like a full in-depth class. I will be holding stretches for a decent period. But to get through all of it in a decent amount of time, it is going to be like holding it for one extended period and then me explaining how long you should do so. So anywho, like I was saying, we're going to stand. We're going to grab our strap first or belt or whatever you're using as a substitute today. And we're just going to do standing side bends. So when I do this, I get the band or belt nice and flat. And then I kind of wrap my hands around it so it's all the way around, just so I have some resistance here. And then what we're gonna do, sorry, I'm fidgeting here. We're gonna take a deep breath in, going up above our head. And if to start, we're just gonna start with this. So I know it might seem pretty simple here, but maybe if you haven't done a lot of stretching lately, this might be just a good starting point. So again, when we do these things, we wanna hold for about 30 seconds. So again, we'll just hold it here. Since this is kind of a prelude to the actual stretch that we're doing, we're gonna go ahead and hold it here for just another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop the shoulders, roll them out if you're feeling a little bit of tension here. We're gonna go ahead and inhale. And on our exhale, just nice and easy, lean over to the side here. So we're gonna drop our left hand down towards the floor. All right, this doesn't need to be a crazy bend. All right, I just have my right arm slightly over my head, which I know is kind of hard to see with the angle, but already I'm feeling a nice stretch through my side body, down my arm, through my shoulders. Good. And remember, when you're stretching here, we never want to force ourselves into a position that's uncomfortable. So remember, if you need to go ahead and kind of pull a little back on your stretch, go ahead and do so. We're gonna hold it here for another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to center, nice and easy. Go ahead and drop it down. Do some shoulder rolls. Good. Now again, we're gonna go ahead and inhale, bring the band, belt, loop, whatever you have up above your head. And exhale, nice and easy. Drop that right arm towards the floor. Just a slight bend here. Again, we're opening up to that side body, excuse me. Good. Holding this position here. Try to keep your arms nice and long. Keep them relaxed. Away from your ears. You can drop your head towards the side as well to get a neck stretch here. And you might notice that you can lean a little bit farther. You're the same. You might not be able to bend as far on the side. You have two halves of your body and they're not necessarily equal, so don't put any pressure on yourself when stretching here. And again, we want to hold this for about 30 seconds. I'm not really sure how long I've been doing this since I forgot to turn my watch on, but we'll go ahead and hold it for about another 10 seconds here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Bring it center and then bring it down. So when we do stretching, we always want to make sure that, again, we're not forcing ourselves into any position uncomfortable and that we are holding for about 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 times through. Okay, so again, for the sake of time and for me to get through all the stretches I want to show you today, I'm just going to show you that once, okay? So next, we're going to go ahead, keep your arms looped here in the band. Go ahead and adjust. You can bring them out if you don't want as much pressure on your shoulders. Bring them in if you'd like a little more. We're going to go into shoulder openers, okay? So again, gotta get my loop straightened here. We're going to start with our hands about hip width apart. So I have a little tension on the band. They're a little bit wider then my hips. And I'm sorry, I have the hiccups right now. So, baby's going to work here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna bring our arms above our head, and on our exhale, we're gonna think arms go behind us, okay? So side view here. Again, let me readjust. We're here, we inhale, go up nice and high, and on our exhale, you'll see my arms slightly bend behind me, okay? So if you do this, and just getting your arms above your head is opening up your shoulders, stay there. If you have a little bit more flexibility already, you might be able to go a little bit behind, but we're just opening up our shoulders and our chest here. All right, gotta go ahead. If you're like me and you can't sit still, you can kind of sway back and forth. But again, I'm gonna kind of show you some angles here. So again, when we're stretching, we wanna at least get to our shoulders. If you have that rotation and flexibility, you might be able to come back, okay? Again, we're gonna hold it here, another side view, holding it here. We'll go about 10 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Go ahead and bring it down in front. So again, a little bit of shoulder work, so go ahead and roll your shoulders. I know when you have your hands above your head, you might start to feel the blood pooling. That's normal, okay? Don't get nervous about that. All right, so next what we're gonna do, we're gonna give our shoulders a little bit of a break here. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna release the band from our hands, and we're going into a standing straight leg stretch. So this is where if you are not comfortable with balance or just like to have that support, this is where I want you to grab your chair, find an end table that's about hip height, the back of a couch, arm of a couch, whatever you have available, okay? So I'll do an example on each leg here. We're gonna place the band, and we're gonna go ahead and stick it under our foot that is farthest from where we are using for a point of balance. Okay, and when we do this, you want to have the strap underneath the middle of your foot. So kind of that arch in your foot is where we want that here today. So again, for balance purposes, you do want to have a chair. If you're comfortable and confident, or you're wanting to kind of incorporate some balance here today, you do not need this, okay? But anywho, we're gonna go ahead, and you'll see that both sides of the strap I brought together. I'm gonna hold it about hip height, okay? We wanna go ahead and just rest our hand. I'm gonna take my left hand and grab the chair. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and pull that leg as straight out as possible, okay? So I'll do this from the side. We're gonna stand nice and tall here, grabbing our chair, furniture, whatever you have in front of you, okay? And we're just gonna nice and easy bring our leg as high as we can. Okay, once we get to about hip height, so we're parallel to the floor, we can go ahead and rest. And when we do this, I'll show you from a side angle as well, we wanna make sure that our toes are pointed. Okay, a little bend in the knee is fine. Remember, we always wanna protect that knee joint here. And when we do this, my right arm is bent, and I'm using the band really just so that my foot can relax, and I'm feeling a nice stretch here through my hamstring. Good. And we're gonna hold it here for another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Go ahead and just let that leg fall to the floor. And then again, stepping out. Now I'm going to show you the same thing on the other side, so I'm just going to move my chair for demonstration purposes here. So again, band's nice and long, or belt, whatever you may have. We're placing the band on the arch of our foot, bringing the loops together, holding with my left hand about hip joint here. Again, from the side view, we're just going to go ahead and bring that leg up to about hip level or wherever's comfortable. Again, don't force yourself here. Make sure we have a nice tall back. Okay, again from the side, we're gonna bring it up as high as we can. And again, like I mentioned in the previous stretch, you might notice that one side is a little bit more flexible than the other. Like my knee is way more bent on my left than it is on my right. That's okay. Good, again, side angle here. We'll go ahead, pull that band out in front. Toes are pointed towards the sky. Remember, if we're gonna stretch, we might as well do it the right way. Point those toes. Feel that nice stretch along that posterior chain here. Hold for another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Now, we will go into our dancer pose, which is really just to open up the hips. So again, you're gonna want that chair here. Now we're gonna go behind our back, all right? So, band is behind us, toe comes in. We're gonna go ahead and kind of place it at that ankle joint. Walking our hands up, we're gonna bring our foot towards our butt, feeling a nice stretch to our hamstring here. So again, we wanna make sure that we have our balance. So make sure we're standing nice and tall, have balance in front of us here, and we're pulling the heel towards our butt. So again, you might not be able to get as high as me, you might be able to really crank that knee back. Even if you just have it here, we're still feeling a little bit of a stretch to that quad and opening up through the hip flexor. Good. Again, we want to hold for about 30 seconds, but for the sake of time, we'll do 10 seconds more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy release. Good, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to move my chair. So again, same thing, that band, we're going to grab it behind our back. All right, go ahead and step through, find that about 90 degree where the ankle joint is, and just slowly raising our heel up towards our butt. Good, holding it here. And again, because I think I'm already near the 15-minute mark, I'm just going to hold it for 10 seconds here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy, and release. All right, so now we're going to go into our seated portion here. So you do not need the chair. So I'm just going to move that off to the side here. You can do most of these probably in a chair if you would like. I like to go to the ground, just stability-wise. All right, so what we're gonna do is a straight leg forward bend. So we're gonna bring both of our feet, and I'm gonna do this at an angle so you can see better. Both of our feet front, again, toes are pointed to the sky. We're taking our strap, band, belt loop, belt, whatever we have. Again, finding the arch of our feet here, bringing the band together in front of us, and we're just gonna slowly hinge our hips, walking our hands toward our feet. And I already, just a slight little stretch here, feeling this in my hips, my hamstrings. So I'm gonna keep it here. I have a nice tall back, so keeping my tall spine. My shoulders are slightly rolled forward to hold to the band, but think of bringing the shoulders back. Good, and again, do not put your body in a position that's painful. So I'm not gonna try to go any farther just for demonstration. I don't wanna pull a muscle. Good. But this here, just remember to keep your core tight and think of hinging your hips, not rounding your spine. So we're leaning forward, pushing our butt bones deeper into the floor. Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we want to hold about 20 to 30 seconds, 3 times through on all of these stretches here. Again, this one here is a nice posterior stretch. We'll hit our calves, our hamstrings, our glutes, and maybe even your hips if you're pretty tight. Next, we have the butterfly pose. So for this one here, we're gonna go behind our back, all right, over our hip flexors. So think of like a diaper, and then you're gonna just grab the band beneath your hips, all right? Legs are gonna come feet together, and we actually are gonna go down to the floor. Good. So now this one here, we're gonna open up our hips. So the band is for those that do not have much flexibility. You are gonna wanna put a little bit more tension and just kind of let your hips relax onto the band. So you will kind of be feeling a little bit of work in your biceps here. All right, and when you stretch, I wanna make sure you guys are laying with your head nice and flat on the mat. I am slightly curved just so I can project my voice towards you more. But this here is really gonna help open up those hips and release some tension in the pelvis.
So again, we're pulling up on the band to support our legs, okay? It might cause pain if you just let your legs go all the way to the floor. Maybe this is as far as you can go. Just really pull on those bands to take all the pressure off and just feel a nice opening through your hips. And again, we'll hold 10 seconds here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Go ahead and kind of push your legs back up to the beginning and release the band. Go ahead and bring yourself back up to a seated position. All right. So now we're going to take that band out from behind our back. We're going to go into the cow face. So this one here is going to help stretch out our triceps and open up our chest. So the band is going to come behind you, and I'm going to show you the back of this in a moment, but I'm going to do my right hand is on top. So I'm taking the band, right hand nice and high, and I'm going to reach behind me, like I'm reaching for my spine while holding the band. My left hand is going to just come behind my back and kind of hold it there with a nice little pull. So again, I'll show you this from behind. So my right hand is high with the band in. I'm reaching behind my head like I'm going down my spine. My left hand comes behind my back, grabbing the band and just releasing. So this here is going to open up the shoulders, feel a nice stretch of the tricep, sitting up nice and tall. And again, because of timing, I'm not going to do the full 30 seconds here, but again, 3 times through, and you want to do this on each side, which I will demonstrate the other side here. So nice and easy, we're going to go ahead and release. So if we were to do the stretch on the other side, left hand is high with a band or strap, whatever you have. Right hand or left hand is high, like I said, and we're going to reach down our spine. Right hand just is going to grab the strap and feel a nice pull. Again, feeling that stretch in the tricep, opening up our shoulders. Holding this here, keeping the core tight for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy, letting go and bringing that band down. Okay, I'm probably over my 15-minute mark, so I apologize, but I tend to do that with a lot of my classes. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to do some more hip openings. So again, we're going to be going onto our backs here. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to demonstrate one leg here, but the band is going to go again underneath our foot, arch of the foot. I'm doing my left foot for demonstration, okay? Again, we're going to lay nice and flat on our back, and we're going to bring our leg up. Right leg is going to lay flat on the floor, toes pointed. So this is, again, toes pointed is just a little bit of a modification, which is just going to make the stretch feel maybe a little bit more deeper, and maybe you can't do as you normally would. But anywho, so if we're going to start here, this is just a basic hamstring stretch. Again, I have a slight bend in my knee because I don't have that flexibility in my hamstring anymore. But again, we want to keep our toes pointed. You'll feel a nice stretch to the calf with your pointed toe down our hamstring. So that's our first point. Then with the band, again, I have both pieces brought together to a single point. We're going to nice and easy lower our leg out to the outside of our body. So again, nice and easy, opening up here. All right. And we're going to feel this on the inside of our thigh, our hip flexors here. Again, if you can't get your leg to hip level, you might be down here doing this. You might only be able to get this far. Again, don't put yourself in a position that's uncomfortable. Just like I did earlier, sometimes I don't have the flexibility myself, and I'm not going to push it just to demonstrate. But again, that band here, you can use it to slightly hover. We're feeling this in our hips and our inner thigh. Good. So again, to bring it in, you can go ahead and kind of release and bend your knee in. Okay, we're going to return to that starting position. And now with my right hand, I'm grabbing the band. And nice and easy, I'm going to go ahead, bring my leg across here. And now I'm going to feel a stretch in my outer hip and my glutes, okay? When you do these stretches, always make sure that your back is flat on the floor. All right, obviously when you bring your leg across, your lower back is going to be lifted, but your chest should always stay pointed up to the ceiling, shoulders flat, and keep your neck in line. When you lift your neck, you're just gonna add tension. Okay, we wanna get a nice stretch here, relaxing, so really feeling that in this outer hip. Again, I have my knees slightly bent, just because I don't have the flexibility, and toes pointed. Good. So then you can go ahead and release. Last little one I like to do is just bringing the band towards me and bending my knee. So now each hand is holding the strap. I'm just bending that knee and I'm releasing any tension, so I'm letting my hip kind of go. Sometimes we keep it nice and tight and you'll feel that in your hip flexor. Go ahead and relax. Your hip might open to the side a little, and that's okay. Good. And again, always making sure that that opposite leg is nice and long, toes pointed. And then go ahead and slowly release. So those are the 4 stretches that you can do with your legs and the band. Again, for time purposes, I'm not going to be doing that on the right side, but always make sure that whatever leg you're not stretching is down nice and long with toes pointed towards the ceiling. Okay, next what we have, I'm going to show you the pigeon pose. So I do this a lot in my yoga class. Sometimes this is a hard pose if you have any hip trouble. So this modification with the band will be really nice. So with this here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it again. I'm going to demonstrate with my left side. I'm going to wrap it around my foot like this. All right, so it's actually going to be, the middle is going to be on the outside of my foot. I'm going to lay down here, and now I'm just going to bring the band towards me, and I'm going to let my knee go out to the side and holding it here. So this here is going to open up that deep hip stretch, and again that inner thigh, to kind of show you an angle of how that happened. I'm nice and long. Okay, I'm with my right hand, I'm bringing the band up, and then that in turn is bringing my foot towards the middle of my body. My knee is coming to the outside. Again, if you have hip trouble, right here might be all you can do, and that's fine. Just always make sure that this right leg is nice and long, all toes are pointed to the ceiling, and you're feeling that nice deep stretch. Again, you can hold it here, bringing it up. A lot of times when we do stretching during classes, we bring this knee in and we rest on our knee. If you want to do that, you can always bend your right knee and just really kind of push on this left knee outside if you want a deeper stretch as well. Again, make sure that your upper body is nice and flat against the floor. And release that. So again, time's sake, I'm not going to show you it on the right side, but just flip everything I say. Alright, last little thing that I'm going to show you here, since I am definitely way over my class limit time, and I apologize. We're going to do 4-way ankle. So this is just kind of help keep those ligaments nice and stretched out in your ankle. First thing you're going to do, and again, I'll try to do this at maybe, try to figure, this looks like a good angle. So I'm actually going to keep the strap in each hand. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and with my right hand, I'm going to pull the strap more, so my ankle is going to rotate the foot inward. And this is going to feel a stretch on the outside of the foot, ankle, and maybe even up through the calf. Again, don't put your foot into any position that is uncomfortable though. And we'll hold that for about 30 seconds, 3 times. Next, you'll return your foot to neutral. Always bring your foot to neutral before we go to a different position. Now with your left hand, I want you to roll it. So now your ankle is going to open up more to the inside of your body. And this is not a common way that people roll your ankle. So if you've ever rolled your ankle in your life, that's kind of what that last stretch reminds me of. This is the very uncommon way to roll an ankle. But again, we're just getting that nice stretch on the inside of the foot, keeping those ligaments nice and limber. Returning to neutral, I do this one of 2 ways. I keep it in both my hands, or I bring them together. And we're just going to bring that foot back for a dorsiflexion stretch. So again, this one here, toes are coming towards me, but I'm feeling the stretch in the back of my calf here. Good. And again, we're holding for about 30 seconds, 3 times here. But for the sake of time, we'll release. And now what we're going to do is, again, tension on the band, but I want you to think heels on the floor, but pushing your toes towards the floor. So for plantar flexion, or more commonly I call it like gas pedal, you're speeding down the highway, putting that foot to the floor. And this here,
Again, we're just kind of opening up along the top of our foot and holding that. Again, 3 times for 30 seconds. So, again, I apologize for going over class today, but recovery is a very important part of your workout routine, so I wanted to make sure that I got in most of my stretches here for you today. Again, if you don't have a yoga strap at home, you can do this routine with a band. You can do it with a belt. I'm trying to think, maybe like a cord that you're not afraid to rip. Probably not the safest thing, but it's an option. Otherwise, like a long towel or a t-shirt that you can grab onto would work as well. So hope you guys are feeling loose and limber. If you have any questions, always let us know. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.